Chadwick Boseman was a hero. He was a role model and he was a modern day philosopher. Today we're going to be talking about how Chadwick Boseman embodies the 4 Stoic Virtues. These are courage, justice, moderation and wisdom. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. The first Stoic virtue is the courage to select the roles that actively were in line with his vision. He didn't just want to work in order to be successful. You see, he had the courage to, in his own words, in his speech at Howard University to graduates, he said, if you take the harder way, you won't regret it. Working in Brooklyn on black culture and on black history was how he started his career. This was before he pursued acting. When he then went into acting, we see inspirational roles such as 42 and then of course Black Panther, which absolutely changed the game. Even back in 1987, we see that black children's self-image and self-esteem is incredibly low. As you can see, a quote from the study: in our society, black and Latino children are bombarded with images in movies, toys, books that tells them theirs is not the preferred race. Most heroes like Rambo and He-Man and most authority figures like police and teachers are white. The message is that authority, beauty, goodness and power most often have a white face. The recommendation from psychologist Darlene Powell Hobson at the time was that the media could have a powerful influence in helping black children to form a positive racial self-image. Now, of course, this was in 1987, but years later, enter Chadwick Boseman and the team behind Black Panther, and you have King T'Challa, who becomes a role model, a superhero that looks like them for black children. We're now going to move on to the second virtue that Chadwick Boseman fulfilled, and this one is justice. Justice is simply defined as doing the right thing. As Marcus Aurelius says, often injustice lies in what you aren't doing, not only in what you are doing. That not only is it about what we should do, it's also about fighting actively against injustice when we see it. Chadwick Boseman didn't just show courage within his acting career, he also actively fought injustice outside, inspiring a younger generation to take the harder path in his commencement speech at Howard University.
Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
And then moving on towards his last days, providing personal protective equipment for those working against the COVID-19 pandemic in hospitals, to bring awareness for the disproportionate impact on the black community in America of coronavirus. Moving on to the third Stoic virtue that Chadwick Boseman displayed: wisdom. The Stoics described wisdom as understanding. You know lots, that's fine, but do you truly understand? After Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman stood on a stage and he said,
"There is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington."
And what Chadwick Boseman was talking about was back at university, Denzel Washington happened to be someone who donated some money that allowed Chadwick Boseman to go on a scholarship to Oxford University. What you can see is the gratitude that he has. And that kind of humility, to want to give credit to others, is a sign of wisdom and of understanding. Finally, Chadwick Boseman showed moderation. This one is sometimes called temperance. The idea of being able to regulate yourself, having the right amount of each particular emotion. Towards the end of Chadwick Boseman's life, he posted an Instagram live about helping people during the COVID-19 pandemic. It was clear in that video that he had lost a lot of weight. You did have people making negative comments about him. Notably, all this time, these 3 years, you know, whilst during Black Panther, these other movies that he was doing, he'd known about his diagnosis of colon cancer and he would have been battling with it privately and struggling with it. He had the ability to moderate himself because he had made a decision with his family that he was going to keep his condition private. He had such a level of moderation and control and self-control that he didn't feel the need to explain himself. See, that this is the heart of a true wise person. Often, if we feel like we're slighted or we're wronged, we immediately want to respond. You know, Seneca says the greatest remedy for anger is delay, but so many of us, we don't pause. Our anger forces us to respond. We want to clarify and we want to make sure that other person knows they're in the wrong. But clearly Chadwick Boseman had such a level of self-control to actually visit children with cancer in hospital without anyone else knowing that he himself has cancer, and to have faced death in the way that he did, and to bring so much value to others knowing that your life would soon end, truly shows us how Chadwick Boseman is a hero, he is a role model, and he is a modern day philosopher. Wakanda forever, long live the king, and I'll see you next week for more ancient wisdom for modern times. Yeah.